What's going on, y'all? Machiavelli Mills TV. So now it's Shakur Stevenson versus Cameron and Mase from the It Is What It Is podcast, right? So basically, Mase and Cameron, they talk about sports. They have a sports show. They talked about the Shakur Stevenson fight and talked about basically that I'm paraphrasing, the fight was boring. Shakur wasn't letting his hands go. It was basically a snooze fest. He got to improve. He got to put on better performances than that. He need to come out and do a better job of, like, making the fight more exciting or whatever, right? But Cam and Mase got their little spin to it where they'll clown you a little bit while doing it. Shakur didn't appreciate that. He saw it on Twitter, and he quoted a video of them talking about him on Twitter and say, yo, this coming from a failed rapper, a dude who was a failed rapper, right? And so now this morning, Cameron and Mase lit Shakur up, lit him on fire, talking about he boring, going in on him, right? And see, here's the thing. They basically pointed out what everybody saw, that Shakur was getting booed in his hometown of Newark, New Jersey. He was getting booed in his hometown. And so when this happened, and first of all, I'm going to tell you, social media will have you messed up emotionally and mentally. He been seeing everybody. He catching it. His feelings are hurt right now. He catching it from everywhere. On Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. People are clowning him for not being exciting and not letting his hands go. Because like I told y'all, Shakur has a style where he gonna make you miss. To me, Shakur probably got the best defense out of all the young fighters like Tank, Devin, Teofimo, Ryan. He got the best defense out of all of them dudes. But the thing is, he has the least amount of punching power. He got less punching power than Devin Haney does. And his fighting style is an Olympic fighting style. It's not a box office pay-per-view type of fighting style. Especially, not even just because he doesn't knock people out. It's because he makes people miss, and he doesn't always make them pay, even if it's right there for the taking. He don't really throw a lot of combinations like that. And fans don't like that. They don't like pot shotting like that. Now, Floyd fought like that as he was older. And people were still galvanized behind him, Black America, because he was the only one that we had for a long period that was dominating like that we could stand behind and say, hey, he ain't losing. But now you got Tank Davis. And so Shakur ain't the only one. People running behind Tank. People were running behind Devin until he lost against Ryan Garcia with that Osterin field all up in him. And now they clowning Devin out, right? So Shakur is not the only young fighter at 135 that, people can root for. And now he's really seeing it. But here's the problem, though. Here's the problem. Shakur probably would have had himself a lot more coverage from the Black community if he didn't clown Devin Haney out. If he would have had more coverage from Black boxing fans if he didn't clown Devin Haney out when Devin beat Lomachenko. Shakur Stevenson was in the ring. Lomachenko won that fight. He won that fight. He won. Lomachenko was robbed. He was robbed. He was robbed. That was a robbery. Shakur, you know boxing better than most minds. You saw that fight. That fight had a lot of very, very close rounds. There was some swing rounds in there. It was rounds Devin obviously won, right? Lomachenko had rounds he won too. But to say it was a robbery made it seem like he washed Devin Haney out the water. It wasn't even close. And that was a razor thin close fight. And on second watch, I clearly had Devin Haney winning, right? But when he came out vehemently, coming out talking about, Lomachenko got robbed with his chest out, and Lomachenko got robbed. He got robbed, and he was hollering a robbery, all of that. Black folks looking at him like, what? Especially when we know how non-Black fans was clowning Devin Haney, criticizing him, calling him every name in the book. Shakur, you a Black dude. Now, I know your father Puerto Rican, but you a Black dude, right? You went out here and basically threw Devin to the wolves by saying Lomachenko won that fight. Lomachenko got robbed. He got robbed. When he did all of that, a lot of the Black boxing fans like, nah, bro, we offer you. And them same people, them non-Black fans, who didn't like Devin Haney, they was championing Shakur. Oh my gosh, they was celebrating Shakur like he was the best thing since sliced bread. Yo, Shakur, Devin will lose against you, Shakur. You will beat Devin. We love you, man. We love you. We're Shakur fans. Shakur, we rooting for you. We're rooting for you. Those same people who were celebrating him for saying Lomachenko got robbed, now they hate him. Now they calling him trash. They calling him boring. They calling him garbage. They calling him Twitterson. They calling him every name in the book. They trashing him. They pointing out that he got booed at home. They telling him he's nothing. He's not a pay-per-view draw. They telling him he's garbage. They telling him he'll get smoked by everybody. They telling him he never been good in boxing. They telling him he need to go back to the Olympics. They telling him he fight like an amateur. All of that. They clowning him, they raking him through the coals. The same people who was big up in him when he said Lomachenko got robbed and they was telling him he was the best thing since sliced bread. People was running to interview him after that, after he said that and all of that, acting like they was his fans. They not your fans, Shakur. Them people that were celebrating you for saying Lomachenko got robbed, they are not your fans. You were just used as a buffer. You was used as a buffer. You were used basically as a prop almost. It's like a buffer to like... To amp up Lomachenko, you know what I mean, and to belittle Devin. That's what you were used as. So they were, geeking you up. They were boosting your head up, acting like they were your biggest fans. They were only your biggest fans when you're not fighting and when you're criticizing Devin Haney and saying Lomachenko won. Now that that moment has passed, you're seeing them same people turn against you and get down on you. And some of it is, and a lot of it is Shakur's fault. For how he handled the Devin Haney situation. Lomachenko got robbed, he got robbed, and all that. The black fans that would usually cover for Shakur, especially against Cam and Mase, it's black fans that would cover for him against Cam and Mase, without question, black boxing fans. But they letting it ride because they remember that moment when he was trying to act like Devin Haney robbed Lomachenko so clearly and blindly. When a lot of casuals were saying that because they seen Lomachenko dominate in the 10th and 11th round and forgot about the rest of the fight and act like the rest of the fight didn't happen and, oh, he whooped on Devin and all. Man, Devin was hurting Lomachenko to the body and all of that. Doing excellent work in that fight. And on second watch, Devin clearly won that fight. I had it razor thin close and I wasn't mad if it went either way. But I still was mad at y'all hollering robbery because that fight was razor thin close for it to be a robbery in any type of fashion. But I know a lot of y'all don't watch boxing. Y'all only watch boxing when Tank Davis fighting for real and Ryan Garcia. You know how I feel about him, whatever. But anyway, but Shakur brought a lot of it on himself with, not listening to his grandfather. His grandfather in the corner telling him how to get the stoppage, not letting his hands go and not throwing more combinations and taking risk in the fight to dish out more punishment to get the crowd galvanized and the boxing fans with you. Now, I promise y'all, I don't know how he gonna turn down that Top Rank deal because I don't see anybody else paying him $3 million per fight for the way he fights and how tentative and how he's not willing to take risk in fights. And y'all can talk about older Floyd Mayweather. Young Floyd Mayweather at 130, 135, 140 was stopping dudes, stopping them viciously, beating them up. Shakur ain't done that. Now, that Oscar Valdez fight was his best performance. I mean, he looked amazing in that fight. I love that. For one of his best performances, he looked great in that fight. But he wasn't as tentative as he was against Artem Haratunian because Haratunian got some pop to him. And he gave, Frank Martin. He gave Frank Martin a hell of a fight. Frank had to get that knockdown in that last round and get him up out of there. Now, Shakur is more skilled than Frank Martin, without question. But he wasn't really thumping the way Frank was willing to thump in that fight, especially in them later rounds. Now, I didn't like when Cam and Mase was clowning him and they brought up Teofimo Lopez. And Teofimo was like, I ain't watched that fight. He was like, it went 12 rounds, didn't he? Yeah, I knew it went 12. Teofimo ain't got no room to talk. The brother went 12 rounds. All 12 rounds with a bum, Steve Claggett, and his face was all swelled up, looking like a Kevorkian by the face, all by his eyebrows, all crazy, and he acting like he just went and did something for real. Bro, you went life and death with a bum, Steve Claggett, and you tried to hype him up like he was just this machine, and he wasn't. And you got a split decision against Sandor Martin, and you lost to George Kambosos. Teofimo, get up out of here. And then I don't see why they bringing Teofimo name up to trash Shakur Stevenson when we just see Teofimo defend. We just saw Teofimo defend Ryan Garcia using the N-word and saying racist stuff against black people. But some of them black New Yorkers, they be with them Latinos, letting them Latinos get down on black folks a lot and be giving them excuses and passes because they grew up with them. And this is the case with Cam and them bringing up Teofimo. And I'm F Teofimo because he feel the same way Ryan Garcia feel. For real. I don't care if he Honduran and all of that. He grew up with black people. He feel the same way. But Shakur didn't make him a lot of friends now. And he's going through it.